Hello everyone and welcome to Sunburned Albino Plays Ace Attorney Investigations Episode 2. We are exactly where we left off with the reason for suspicion. Still in the middle of this testimonial thing. I refresh my memory on this, but we'll do it. It's pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door, then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Making it all that more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I would love to, but first we should listen a bit more and digest what he is saying. And press him for more information. Ooh, let's press him. Alright, pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. Let's press it. Are you sure Miss Bird is the only member of security who could have used the master key? There's only one person on staff at this time of night, and tonight she's it. Isn't that right, Miss Bird? That's, true, but I wasn't able to use the master key at the time of the crime, sir. Wasn't able to? What's that supposed to mean? Yes, moving on. I'd hate to get sidetracked by something unrelated. What do you mean, unrelated? I want to hear what she has to say, pal. But you can't really trust her not to tell lies. Plus, I hate wasting time. Should I hear Miss Bird out? No details necessary? Oh, yeah, okay. Not so fast. I, too, am interested in hearing what Miss Bird has to say. Didn't I just say it'd be a waste of time? We don't need to hear her lies. I'll be the judge of that. Miss Bird, if you please. I discovered that the master key was missing at around 1 a.m., sir. What do you mean by missing? As in, it wasn't anywhere in the security booth, sir. The killer must have stolen it. Mr. Portsman, I believe this to be an important piece of testimony, don't you? I can't believe that someone like you would be taken in by such words. I'm not lying, sir. If that's the case, then I'd like to know why you have the master key now. I don't quite know. It just reappeared all of a sudden, sir. Ha! A likely story. And where is your proof that the key was stolen to begin with? I bet you just forgot where you put it and then found it again. I never lose things. I can practically guarantee that. With me, if something disappears, it's usually because someone stole it. Yeah, pal. Trust me, you don't want to test just how bad her luck is. Unfortunately, I can't deem this piece of testimony as conclusive. Glad you agree, Mr. Edgeworth. But you still haven't established Maggie's motive for breaking into Mr. Edgeworth's office. Her motive? Didn't we already establish that it was theft? I mean, the culprit clearly went through the bookshelves and at least tried the safe. It is as Mr. Portsman says, Detective. I can't ignore the fact that all the evidence points towards a motive of theft. But I'm done taking blows. It's time to counterattack with a few facts of my own. Alright, her intent? From the messed up shelves to the wiped down safe, I'd say thievery. I concur that the culprit's motive appears to have been thievery. However, glad to hear that the great Miles Edgeworth is in agreement with little old me. However, with regard to the investigation of the bookshelves and safe, hey, good thinking asking for my opinion on the matter. Would it be too much for you to allow me to complete a full sentence? I mean, if Detective Gumshoe isn't the one who opened the door... Press every sentence, man. I thought we had established Detective Gumshoe's innocence pretty thoroughly. It was just a theory, one hypothesis among the many possibilities. I mean, I had my doubts about Miss Bird from the very beginning. If that's the case, then why didn't you mention her first? Now, don't make that face. See? There goes the truth running the other way. Let's pick up the pace and see if we can't catch up to it. I don't think you're catching my drift. But we are in agreement that the detective isn't the killer, right? If so, then I hope you'll understand when I say... that since she is the only one who could have opened your office door, Then that leaves only Miss Bird as our prime suspect. Press that! Don't you think it's a bit early to be jumping to conclusions? Are you saying there's another way to open the door, other than with the master key? Oh, I get it. Perhaps you had a spare made for someone else. I'll have you know I have never made a spare, so what are you insinuating? Nothing. Guess I should have known better than to suggest that someone like you would. On top of which, she knows our good detective, doesn't she? Oh yes, they are very familiar with each other. Is there anyone in this district who hasn't at least heard of Detective Gumshoe? Good point. He's practically a celebrity among us prosecutors. Really? I never knew I was so talked about, sir. We're holding our collective breath, you know, for when you screw up so badly that you're literally chased off the force. Wait, what? Is that true, Mr. Edgeworth? Of course not. That's hogwash. Phew. Don't scare me like that. I almost had a heart attack there. Making it all the more probable that she was the one who faked the dying message. By dying message, you mean the bloody letters that spell out Gumshoe? I figured that whoever wrote his name must have wanted to frame him. And just the act of choosing his name is proof enough that the two knew each other well. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you waiting for? Hurry up and present some evidence. I would love to, but first, yeah, Elizabeth Digest. Okay, we pressed him for everything. Pretty obvious that Miss Bird snuck into your room using the master key. Let's see what we have to present here. We have the master key. Type evidence received from Miss Maggie Bird. This can open every office door. It was stolen from the security office. We've got the stolen file. One of the files that were written upon in blood was stolen by the culprit, indeed. Then we have the secret safe. Only prosecutors know about them. This dude is a prosecutor. Prints were wiped. If only prosecutors know about the safe, then we should be able to counter one of these other things. Where is it? Use the master key. Her intent from the mess of shells to the wiped down safe. I'd say thievery. This is where we would present the fact that nobody knows about the safe. I'm a genius. Do you wish to continue insisting that Miss Bird was set on stealing something? Why not? It's the truth, after all. Pshee! The truth! It was also by your logic that we came to the whole thievery conclusion anyway. That may be, but you must also be aware of the fact that the safe is a secret safe, the existence of which is only privy to prosecutors. Ah! Whoa, what? Ah! I find it a little hard to believe that a hidden safe was a part of her cunning plan. But she could have found it by accident while she was turning everything else upside down. I highly doubt that. I'd say the culprit knew exactly what they were looking for. After all, only the bookshelf and the safe were targeted. Yeah, even I didn't know about that safe, pal. And that means there's no way Maggie could have known about it either. Then are you proposing that the killer is a prosecutor? Interesting conclusion. That's definitely looking more and more probable. What's wrong, prosecutor? Do you have a different suspect in mind now? Curses! Why? What made you? What's with the angry face all of a sudden? It's all my fault! What do you mean? It's Jim. He knew about the existence of the secret safes. What did you just say? We were partners, like inseparable conjoined twins. That's why I told him. I filled him in on the secret safes. Then that means... Yeah, I know. I had only just told him, too. Obviously, it was wrong of me to tell him. I still can't quite believe it, but the thief who broke into your room was probably Jim. Now he's claiming that the victim was the thief? And you were simply trying to stop him, weren't you? Miss Maggie Bird. Excuse me? I mean, you are a security guard, right? That's your job. But killing is going a bit too far, even in your risky profession. What the? You're still accusing Maggie of the murder? Yes and no. I mean, she had stumbled upon Jim, who had probably drawn his gun. I get it. It was self-defense, wasn't it? No, I couldn't. I could never do something like that. Not even as a security guard, sir. Plus, even if he was the thief, he wouldn't have a key to this office. Which is precisely why he had to steal it, wouldn't you say? It was Jim who stole the master key. Ah! Pretty impossible for a supposedly stolen key to be here with us unless you retrieved it from Jim after you killed him. Mr. Portsman, are you honestly accusing your own partner of being a thief? I don't want to admit it, but it's the only way for everything else to make sense. Has he no honor? Now then, I think we're done here. The investigation waits for no man. Would you people be so kind as to see yourselves out? You can't kick us out. This is Mr. Edgeworth's office. Ah, but I'm the one who's been assigned to this case. You are all suspects to varying degrees and therefore ineligible to run this show. Listen, pal, how many times do I have to say this? Maggie can't be the culprit. Detective Gumshoe, calm yourself. But sir, we have no choice but to accommodate his request, for now. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. At least one of you understands. Now then, if you could remove yourselves from my crime scene, I'd be most grateful. Mark my words, Mr. Portsman, we will meet again. If that's a formal request from the legendary prosecutor himself, then I suppose so. Now don't disappoint me, you hear? Ooh, to be continued already? Damn. I mean, this is just the introductory case, so... It's like, I didn't think it would be that long. Usually with it, they're just like, oh, also I'm gonna confess out of nowhere and just be like, you know, because it's an open and shut, like, gimme thing, because we already know he did it. March 14th, 4:18 a.m., Prosecutor's Building, 12th floor hallway. Dude, it's really early. And they, yeah. What is with that prosecutor? I can't believe how rude he was. It was unbelievable. Please maintain your professionalism, detective. I'm gonna find some real solid evidence proving Maggie's innocence. You'll see, sir. But we've been kicked out of the crime scene, sir. It's true. So then, what now? Looks like my life's fallen into yet another gigantic ditch. Do not despair, Miss Bird. We can overcome this as well. There are many other places and things we should be looking into anyway. Really, sir? For example, this hallway. The linchpin of his argument against Miss Bird is related to the master key. In that case, this hallway is the perfect place to look for more information regarding the mystery surrounding my door. Ooh, begin investigation. Here we go. Yo, what's up? I'm Edgeworth, and I like to walk in concentric squares. What's this? Is that a basketball? Why is there a basketball in the hallway? Is that a thing? Is that a thing in prosecutors' hallways? They just have basketball hoops in there? What is a basketball doing here? That's Mr. Portsman's prized possession, sir. I heard he also plays soccer, dodgeball, and even tennis. And not a single one of those sports is suitable to be played in a hallway. 100% true. This office. 1203. Hey, Maggie, whose room is this again? It's Mr. Portsman's, sir. So he's my new neighbor, I see. I suppose he moved in while I was away overseas. He hadn't brought a basketball hoop with him? What is a basketball hoop doing here? Hey, didn't this used to be just outside next to the building a long time ago? So when and why was it moved indoors? I don't remember exactly, but I saw one of the officers drag it up here recently. Drag it? I heard that it wouldn't fit in the elevator, so the poor guy had to bring it himself. All the way up to the 12th floor? Oh, damn. Is everything all right? Yes, sir. If you must know, I weighed myself this morning and I'm finally at 154 pounds. Congratulations, but I was asking about this hallway in this room. Oh, everything's okay, sir. A word of advice, stay focused or you may start to lose even more weight. Oh, it's this dude. Wait, is that him? It looks like you're in quite the pinch, Mr. Edgeworth. To be sure, a murder within the walls of the prosecutor's office is no trifling matter. We must find, apprehend, and punish the killer accordingly post-haste. It sounds like a messy case you've got on your hands. If you ever feel lost or need some advice, my door is always open. How gracious. I will keep your offer in mind. Who is this guy again? Oh, come on, we know who that dude is. Yo, what's up, Maggie? Let's talk. I was wondering if I may speak with you for a bit concerning this case. I've always been a big fan of the courtroom, but this is like a dream. A dream where I'm being cross-examined by the Miles Edgeworth. I can't let this chance pass me by. I must remember to ask her about the master key. I should jog her memory by showing my notes to her through the present button. Present button, perhaps. Talk to me about the victim. Have you ever met the victim before? Well, I've seen him a couple of times before when I had to go to Mr. Portsman's office. Mr. Faith was always playing basketball with Mr. Portsman, sir. That sounds like fun. Just once, I'd have loved to play with him. It sounds fun, but the only person ever taking a shot was Mr. Portsman. All Mr. Faith ever did was pass him the ball, sir. On second thought, I don't think I'd have fit in all that well with them. Miss Maggie Bird, correct? I take it that you are an acquaintance of the detective? She was under my supervision back when she was still on the force, sir. One day she got caught up in a murder and things started going downhill, so she quit. But I owe a lot to Detective Gumshoe for introducing me to my current employer. Or so I thought until a few hours ago. Right before I was about to clock out for the night. You got caught up in this whirlwind of a case, correct? Don't worry, my whole life has been nothing but a whirlwind of bad luck and failures. Since I was 6 months old, when I fell from the 9th floor of my apartment building, I've been hit by all sorts of vehicles, gotten sick from all sorts of foods, failed at almost every test I've taken, experienced almost every kind of disaster, and now I even managed to be named a criminal just when I've become a security guard. That's a lot to go through in one lifetime. I know! And just when I thought I had finally found my happiness, I'd wind up getting you and Detective Gumshoe involved in my bad luck. You don't need to worry about me, Miss Bird, nor do you need to worry about yourself. I will solve this case and prove your innocence. All I ask in return is for your cooperation. Yes, sir, Mr. Edgeworth. You can count on me. I'll do all I can to help. All right, just stop making that face, please. Please never make that face again. Tell me about this key, sir. So when did you discover that the master key was missing? By the time I realized it, I think it was around 1 a.m., sir. And I noticed it was back at around 2:30 a.m. It was just sitting there on the ledge where the security room's reception window is. But I'm sure that between those two times, it was not just gone, but stolen, sir. Why is such an important key stored in such an insecure place? It's not like that, sir. We always keep the key further inside the room, away from the window. Always, you say? Except for this time, correct? Well, I admit that was a bit careless, but I had my reasons. I left it out because I was sort of using it at the time. It was after I had used it that I left it sitting out on the ledge. She used the master key? Please tell me about using the master key. What did you mean by you used the master key? Oh, I had to use it to open the door for this prosecutor who had forgotten his key. I mean, it's my job as a security guard, right? Ah! What is it? That's right, I just remembered. The prosecutor who forgot his key. It was Mr. Portsman, sir. What? Please tell me more, Miss Bird, quickly. Oh my god, are you telling me Mr. Portsman is the murderer? This is quite a twist. It was around 12 a.m. Mr. Portsman had forgotten his office key, so he came down to security, sir. And that's when you loaned the master key to him? No way! It's against regulations to loan the master key out to anyone. I walked with Mr. Portsman to his office and opened the door for him personally, sir. I see. And then? What happened after that? Well, he called for me to come close up his office as he was leaving to go home. That was around 1:30 a.m., I think. So, in summary, for the sake of one forgetful prosecutor, you used the master key twice tonight. Ooh. Talk about suspicious! I doubt you can say that you never left your keys at home, Detective. I think this calls for a thorough examination of Mr. Portsman's door. Ooh, let's examine his door. Which is right here. I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny. Okay. We got that. I mean, let's look at the lock. This seems like the only really important thing. The door is locked tight. I bet the old credit card trick wouldn't work here, huh, Mr. Edgeworth? This is the office of a high prosecutor, Detective. These doors would be pretty ineffective if the average cat burglar could get through them. Aha! So I guess only a great cat burglar could get in. That must be who our culprit is. Might I advise you to return that conclusion to whatever pawn shop you bought it from? Room 1203. I take it that this is Mr. Portsman's office. Yeah, you can't mistake it because of that basketball hoop, sir. Oh, that reminds me. Mr. Portsman had actually wanted room 1202 really badly. But since you were already occupying it, Mr. Edgeworth, we put him next door, sir. So why was Mr. Portsman so particular about getting room 1202? I'm not sure, but I bet it's because of something like his birthday is December 2nd? Yep, that's gotta be it. I can't think of another reason why. I can think of at least 3. Ugh, why am I even wasting time thinking about this? Just the door itself? A minimalist yet classy door made of top quality wood. It's kinda majestic too. Fits in really well with the ambience of the prosecutor's office. Even Mr. Portsman seems dignified just because he works behind one of these. Nonsense. A man doesn't become more or less dignified because of where he works. Well, he still seems more dignified than Mr. Payne. Mr. Payne? I suppose custodial work can also be dignified. Oh, they demoted him to custodian? Damn. Alright. You know, the tutorial prosecutor from the previous games? The one who's like, objection, Your Honor. The witness is being badgered like fuck. I don't know. So. I think it's time that we logic some stuff here. Files in disarray. Master key was stolen, use the master key. Connect! Miss Bird, I'm afraid there's a flaw in your story. What? No way, pal! I mean, sir. You said that you locked up Mr. Portsman's office at around 1:30 a.m., correct? However, the master key had already been stolen at that time. Wow, nothing gets by you, Mr. Edgeworth. You saw that contradiction like a pro. I had totally forgot all about that, but thanks to you, I remember it now. You're right. It was around that very time that I realized the master key was missing. And? Well, I'm a security guard, sir. I couldn't just admit to losing the master key, could I? So I pretended to lock up his room, sir. You pretended? Yeah, I used my house key and made it look like I was locking up, sir. So, in actuality, you never did re-lock the door, then? Well, I thought that maybe I could go lock it after I found the key. Come to think of it, I guess the door still hasn't been locked properly. Okay, but it is locked though, and we just did that, so. Door is locked tight. Yeah. Okay, well I guess we're gonna deduce. Is this spot somehow connected to any of the evidence I hold? Yes. The office was not locked, so you present it. Yes! I figured it out! There's a contradiction here between reality and the evidence. If what Miss Bird has said is true, then why is this door locked tight? Huh? You know, you're right. Miss Bird, are you sure you didn't relock this door? I'm certain of it, sir. And I don't think Mr. Portsman noticed it himself that I hadn't. Which means... What, sir? It either means that he actually does have the key to his office, or that the door Miss Bird opened wasn't this one at all, but a completely different one. She opened a different door? But how can you prove that? There's an easy way to find out. All we need to do is... we need to examine these. Prints on the master key, prints on the doorknob, prints on the number plate. The prints on the number plate, they will tell us all that we need to know. Everything? Really? Like what, sir? Like, well, for example, and such as... well, we know for sure that Detective Gumshoe's dinner will only consist of instant noodles. Wow, that was amazing, sir. How did you know? Was that supposed to be a joke to cheer me up, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes, that's it. Now then, we should get back to doing what we need to do, and that is... we need to examine these. Prints on the doorknob. The prints on the doorknob will tell us everything. Hey, you. Yeah, you, pal. Do us a favor and see what you can lift from this, okay? So, what did you find out? There's no need for such belligerent nostril flaring, Detective. Sir, I have found only Mr. Portsman's and Mr. Faith's prints on this doorknob. So only 2 people's prints were found on this, huh? That's pretty decisive. Huh? I'm lost, sir. Thinking logically, a certain other person's prints should be on this knob as well. Now then, whose prints should also be on this doorknob? Maggie Bird. Dude, she's 23, she's younger than me. She looks like she's 27 at least. Especially like now, you know, like in this far into the future from when the first games came out. Don't you find it odd that the prints of the person who unlocked this door are absent? You mean... yes, the door that Miss Bird opened could not have been this one, but a different one. Ooh, maybe he just moved his hoop to a different door to be like, oh yeah, this is my office. And then also, but then he didn't change the number plates? Like, I don't get it. Because if there's no prints on the number plates, then you still should have noticed that the numbers were wrong. What have we here? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious looking nook and cranny! There's a cranny right there! What is this? Looks like a scrap of paper. I'll get it, sir. Let's see. Oh, there's something written on it. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, just like we talked about, on the phone. But it looks like you're out. Guess I'll catch up to you later, buddy. It looks like a note from the victim. Yeah, and it's for Mr. Portsman. 3 pieces of evidence. It's for Mr. Portsman, so this does have to be his office. 'Cause even Buddy left the note under his office, and would have known about his office. Do we have any more logic? Like, did that... files in disarray. Another hang... these 2 things are not related. Alright. I mean, I guess that's it. Now what? We've examined everything. Let's examine this chair! I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny! Ooh, what's this? It's... oh, it's the missing file! Ah, isn't that this isn't this that missing O-series file, sir? No doubt about it. The bloody letters mark it clear as day. There seem to be a few pages missing. Our thief took only what was necessary and left the rest behind. So what are these 0 files about, sir? I guess they've got something worth stealing in them, huh? Not particularly. It's just a collection of court case files. However, the cases within these files are not mine. Huh? They belong to the High Prosecutor that used to occupy my current office. I have my reasons, but let's just say I was charged with keeping them as they were. Then that means the thief must have also wanted the file for a specific reason, right? It would seem so. Only the pages related to that case from 10 years ago are missing. I wonder why anyone would care about such an old case. Case from 10 years ago, huh? Let's examine the cushions! A well-crafted, high-quality sofa for visitors. The stitching is excellent. Talk about a luxury waiting area. These babies are also great for napping, you know. You would sleep even out here, Detective? In a hallway? Whenever I do, I always wind up dreaming about giving testimony up on the stand. But it always ends the same way. Me getting trounced by a lawyer. Isn't that awful? Maybe I should give it a try sometime. To envision myself winning, naturally. Okay, I mean, this, It's not anything. Unless, did they just add the case file to the thing? No. Why is that still the only thing? Like, okay, let's look in my organizer. I guess, oh, we have to, like, examine these things, don't we? Yeah, and I haven't been. I've just been picking them up and like, oh, well, there's the evidence, and we don't need to look at it, but it's cool enough that we have it. Pages pertaining to a case tried 10 years ago by my predecessor are missing. Let's check it out. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's a lot there. I've gleaned plenty of new insights from this, and I'm just glad that I had the opportunity. Let me examine the note. Press check button for details. Okay, thank you. I brought the 3 pieces of evidence by, but it looks like you're out. Note left by victim, discovered in the hallway. Yeah, that was Buddy. Okay, but now what? Can we go in the office? I would like to go in the office. I'm gonna examine this basketball. Is this basketball property of Mr. Portsman? Yes, sir. He's always ready for a match. Basketball, soccer, dodgeball, tennis. Doesn't matter what sport it is, he's game. Although I think it'd be a little hard to play tennis with this ball. Oh. That isn't the point you should be focusing on, Detective. You're right, sir. Now I know what I should be focusing on. Bad, Mr. Portsman. Someone should teach him to clean his toys up after he's done playing. I think we've reached the end of this conversation. I mean, we've examined all this already. I'm gonna examine the nameplate again, I guess. 1203, Mr. Portsman's office, yeah. Since you already occupy, yeah, you wanted my room. Maybe we just go back into our own office at this point. Because we pretty much talked about everything. Unless there was more stuff that I had to ask or present to you to get another avenue of stuff. Let's see. Tell me about this note. No, don't check the note. Do you know anything about this note? I'm just a lowly security guard, so I'm not sure what I should do with that other than to guard it. That's absolutely fantastic dialogue. All right. Oh, I'm gonna guard that. Wait, you want me to guard this? You hand her like a used piece of gum. She's like, I'm gonna guard that. All right, this is my own door. 1202. These 4 numbers on a number plate alone proclaim this to be my office. Whoops. Hey, these number plates slide right out, sir. They have to be able to take the plate off when a room becomes vacant, you know. Although, the idea that it can be so easily removed is kind of... Okay, so yeah, they are gonna do this. You know, they're gonna do the whole Danganronpa thing. With the... Oh, they switched the nameplates? Yes, they did. I don't see any signs of forced entry. And according to the guard, no signs that the lock was picked either, sir. Meaning that the door really was opened with a key. Did you happen to ask if any prints were lifted from the doorknob? Apparently, the doorknob's clean as a whistle. Wiped, they think. Whoever this thief is, they did a good job of not leaving any clues behind. Alright. Let me examine this sturdy wood door. Oh, yeah. Some rewards a certain virtuous value, I think. If you live up to your full potential, that's a poignant trait that anyone can admire. I see. So you're saying, sir, that me being me is the best thing I can do for everyone? Right. That long pause wasn't exactly reassuring, sir. I love these games. They're so good. There's nothing else to examine here. Go over here. No, can't examine that. We're just gonna leave the stolen file there. I've already tried, like, looking at stuff. Hello? Let's talk to you again. It looks like you're in quite the pinch, to be sure. A murder with a... Yeah. Yep, sounds like a mess case. You ever feel lost? I'm trying. I don't know what you want me to do right now. Hey, officer. Is everything all right? Yes, sir. Okay, you're 154 pounds. Fantastic. Great job. Great job, everybody. I mean, there wasn't a deduce thing anywhere else in terms of, like, examining stuff. Or was there? If I examine here... I already checked this area earlier, but it never hurts to take another look. But there's no deduction. There's no deductive area, so forget that. Ooh, I can run? I mean, it's like we've already examined that. We already examined that. Oh, we can examine the hoop? Now that I think about it. What's this? What are you looking at, sir? Oh, hey, how about a game? That's okay, detective. I just found the position of this hoop to be a little off. Hey, you're right, sir. I guess it shifted when someone made a seriously sweet slam dunk. The positioning of the hoop is definitely unnatural. Dude, you can barely see that in this. But no, yeah, okay, that means that what I said happened definitely did happen. He moved the hoop to a different door to have it be unlocked, as if it was his office. Basketball hoop data jotted down in my organizer. Organizer? Organizer. Or however that song goes. Poking around in this hallway has actually paid off quite handsomely. Huh? How so, sir? Well, we found the stolen file, for one. In a variety of different ways. I think it's time we had a little chat with the real culprit of this case. You know who the killer is? Wow, Mr. Edgeworth. As long as my logic is sound, then yes. The mastermind behind this murder is none other than Mr. Portsman. What? Mr. Portsman? I knew it. That's exactly what my logic senses were telling me, too. I suspected it was him from the instant he accused Maggie of being the killer, sir. That is anything but logical. Lady and gentlemen, prepare yourselves. Come what may, it's time to knock on truth's door. Okay, Edgeworth. Yeah, alright. Let's go knock on truth's door real quick. Mr. Portsman, I've finished processing the bloody letters, sir. Alright, let me take a gander at it. Pass it here. Okay, looking good. You there, take good care of this. Gah! Well, if it isn't Detective Gumshoe. End of the line for you, Portsman. We've got you now. Call off your dog, Mr. Edgeworth. Is this some kind of joke? It's no joke. We know, Mr. Jacques Portsman, that you are the guilty party in this case. You must be pretty upset getting chased out of your own room. I'd be mad too. So I guess you can stay, if you promise to stay out of our way. You intend to hide your crime under the guise of a prosecutor doing his job? Huh. I can see right through the unsightly paper-thin mask you wear upon your cowl. Who'd have ever thought it would come to this? Actually, come to think of it, your mentor was Manfred von Karma, right? The legendary prosecutor who never lost a single case for 40 long years. But there was always this incessant chatter about forged evidence with that guy. Really teaches me that I've got to stay on the lookout for false accusations, you know? Are you done trying to play mind games with me, because they won't work? The only thing you should be using that mouth of yours for now is explaining yourself. Although that too will only dig your hole deeper. Either way, your game is up. Well, aren't we full of ourselves? Even though you have yet to prove anything. Oh, that's gonna do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at Sunburned Albino, and I will see you guys next time.